no, we got to bring that European concept to the US. And that's been a slow and steady growth in the last 4 years, where we started in 65 stores, piloted across multiple distribution centers, now is in 12,000 stores nationwide, and really has been really building a new category from scratch.
This is the E-commerce Brain Trust, a podcast about building momentum online for established consumer brands. Join our hosts and their expert guests for high-level conversations about e-commerce strategies, trends, and innovations. Access our Brain Trust and boost your brand's e-commerce potential.
Hello and welcome to the E-commerce Brain Trust podcast. I'm Julie Spear, Head of Retail Marketplace Services at Acadia, alongside my co-host, Jordan Ripley, Director of Retail Operations. And today we're back with the series that I am loving. It's another episode in our Category Disruptors Series, where we're spotlighting female CEOs and founders behind some of the fastest growing, most innovative brands in their respective categories. And today we've got an episode with Anouck Gotlib, co-founder and CEO of Belgian Boys, the company behind the high-quality, ready-to-eat Belgian waffles, pancakes, and crêpes. With that, Anouck, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here.
Thank you so much to have me, Julia. I really appreciate it. And it's an honor. Excited for our conversation today.
Your Belgian waffles are part of our breakfast rotation in our house. So thank you for making our mornings easier. I very much appreciate it.
Oh, you just made my day. I'm so happy to hear that.
I promise this series is not us just trying to get more samples on this.
I have been fangirling
your addresses after this project.
If it happens, it happens. You know, we're not going to argue with you.
Part of it is like, what are the brands that we absolutely love? And that's a lot of who we've been talking to, which is exciting. Also with that, there's been another theme that we've dug into with the founders that we've been talking to, that often there's some outside inspiration, motivation that helps them identify a gap in current offerings in a particular category. So we talked to Lauren from Sweet Lauren's, and she shared how her battle with cancer in her 20s inspired her to move into a path of healthier cooking and providing healthier options more broadly, especially with healthier cookie dough. And then we talked to Laurel from Daily Crunch, and she was talking about her aunt's travels to India and discovering the benefits of sprouting nuts rather than roasting them. Can you talk to us a little bit about your background that helped lead to the creation of Belgian Boys?
Yes, of course. And both of those founders are amazing. I know them both, so really, really cool. You have amazing people coming here, so that's really cool. Yeah, so by us, I say us also because I'm a +1 on this journey. I'm not alone. I have a co-founder, and that is Greg. Greg is the founder of the brand, and he's also my +1 in life. So he's my husband.
Your life co-founder.
Exactly. We're husband and wife duo running Belgian Boys, and our mission as a brand is to spark a moment of joy for our consumer. And there's a lot of just things that led us, that being our mission and us starting the brand. But my background actually is fashion design. I came to New York to make dresses, Devil Wears Prada, running on fashion avenues, fabrics, like all of that story. And in the flight from Brussels to New York, I met Greg, and he was living here in New York. Greg is also from Belgium and went to college. He studied college here in the US, in Boston, and I would say every expat can relate to bringing something from home, whether that's food, a laundry detergent, like something that reminds you of home. And for Greg, that was his waffles, his pancakes, his cookies. And every time he was coming back, his friends in the dorms were like, oh my God, Greg, what's this chocolate? What's this waffle? I want it. Where can I buy it? And he couldn't. Those products just didn't exist at that time here in the US. When Greg and I met, he was like, this is an idea I have. I could obviously relate to just bringing things from home and the amazing Belgian waffles that we have. And we're like, why don't we do this together? Well, in the beginning, I was just like, I'll help you, boyfriend. My background.
And your crazy idea. Yeah.
Really, my background, I was just like, it's going to look good. People will actually want to pick it up the shelf because how would they know that it tastes phenomenal and is an upgrade from what else is on the market? And I think another reason of how we got into the food space, Greg and I are both grandchildren of Holocaust survivors. And a lot of the joyous moments for us in life really were around food. Whether it was our grandma that was just like, eat, 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 because of what they didn't have. In those troubling times, Greg's grandpa was the caterer, the Jewish caterer of Antwerp. And he vowed that he was part of life's horrors and he will be part of life's celebration. So weddings, bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah. Greg's grandpa actually catered my bat mitzvah party, which is another story. But I think we just grew up with that warmth of food and joy, and it brings people together, and you can create a moment, amplify a joyous moment by having just comforting food. And that was just something that's been really strong in both our values and our education. And I, in fashion design, had a experience where I loved fashion design. From a blank piece of paper, all of a sudden you create this piece that people will actually want to wear. You saw its creativity, ideation, but the fashion industry I found quite toxic, very backstabbing. I had not so great experience after some really good experiences. And when I left that fashion world, Greg was like, why don't you do this with me? He was just starting out. And I was just like, I don't know. We just got engaged. Should we do this together? And said, well, let's give it a try. And we both vowed and we said, well, if we're going to do this together, we're going to create a place where people can be themselves, where we can be joyous and happiness as part of our culture, not only for ourselves, but for our consumer. That's really closing the loop on that moment of joy from a product to a behind the scenes as well.
Oh, I love that. I love hearing the stories and the inspiration behind where you are now.
I'm also admiring of anyone who can start and sustain a business with their partner. Julie and I were talking about this yesterday. And some people are cut out for it, and others it's like the wallpaper in a bathroom.
Yeah. I think either it doesn't work out or it works really, really well. And there's ups and downs. I think the one thing that made us realize that this is success for us to be able to work together is the moment we understood that we're aligned on every aspect. I might disagree with Greg on a decision that he makes for the business. He might disagree with the decision that I make for the business, but we will never assume a wrong intent for that decision making because our goals in life and our goals in business are completely aligned. He always wanted to do well, and same for me. So we might have completely different vision or ideas, but the goals are the same and that intent. And that's, I think, as soon as you understand that out of everyone in the world, there is no person that I trust more than him and vice versa, that's when you unlock that power, in my opinion, to really be able to be vulnerable with, these are my weaknesses, these are my strengths, and you know them best. And how do we make each other shine and pull each other up in our weaknesses?
Yeah. I mean, you talk about this sort of, as long as the foundation is in place, right? We're like pushing towards the same end goal. And you speak of this kind of the mission of sparking joy through your products. And I guess a theme of this series is the idea of like, okay, there's something greater than just there was a market opportunity and I made a product and that's the end of the story, right? And I'm curious, with that goal in mind, you've moved into a lot of new product categories beyond just waffles. And I imagine there's been a lot of business decisions that you've had to make over the time, whether in packaging, branding, et cetera. How do you take that idea of like, okay, our mission is to spark joy, and then ultimately kind of operationalize that into determining what product categories you're going to go into? Or does that sit mostly with you? How do you guys bring that to life?
Yes. From a product perspective, we started with those breakfast foods. And I think really where we found our success is it's not only what's in the product, it's how we speak to the consumer, from the packaging that speaks. Our boxes are pink, right? Like just that, it evokes an emotion of just smile, right? But we really think about that consumer. What is the problem that we solve, right? I'm a mom of now 3 kids with a 7, a 5, and a 6-month-old at home. And those mornings are stressful. It doesn't matter if you got your shit together or if you don't. Somehow, that first hour of the day, there is not any other hour of the day that you do so many things as the first one. You got to get dressed. You got to get the kids dressed. You got to get the coffee maker on, lunch boxes, breakfast, brushing teeth, like shoes, homework. Oh my God, dog, this, that. Like there's so much stuff. And you really do it on autopilot because it's like, you know what you got to do and everybody knows. And for some reason, you're not on schedule, right? There's so much stress. Breakfast doesn't have to be stressful. And that's really where we find that we can, like success for me is I can see that family sitting at that table for even just 5 minutes and everybody is sitting there with a smile. Listen, when you send those kids to school, you have no idea if they're going to have the best day ever. You hope for that, but they might be bullied, they might be picked on, they might fall. You don't know. You don't control their day. But what you do control is that first hour of the day. Can we as a brand make it easier for you by just offering a product that is quick, easy, delicious, that it's enough energy for the kids to go and have an amazing day, and where you can also not go back to your kitchen after everyone's gone and have, oh my God, now I got to start cleaning because I made pancakes from scratch and there's 15 bowls and whips and this and that. Like, right? No one wants that. So that's really where we feel like we bring that together. We spark that moment that happens and we're just a tool for that. The product is just a tool for that. Now, where we have been merchandising in the store, that's what we've seen in Europe. So it's not like American, and maybe we'll talk a bit about that later about the merchandising strategy, but even there I feel like we spark that joy on the shelf. So,
and I will say you helped me provide a beautiful Valentine's breakfast without me needing to do the forms itself with your heart-shaped pancakes. And so your product development there, just making it some options even more fun and playful as well. And keeping it easy. I love it. Well, your products, obviously, they're going to appeal to everybody, all types of shoppers, but you have a very female-focused brand. I saw that you had a program to give 500 moms a month of free breakfast for Women's History Month. And your board is also 80% or more female. So was this focus on moms and women-led initiatives something that you knew was important from the get-go, from the start of Belgian Boys, or is it kind of evolved over time?
Yeah, I can't say that it's the first. It's really evolved over time. I think our team is also, I want to say 80%, 75 to 80% women. We don't discriminate against men, right? I think it's just like happened to be that
Belgian
way.
Boys.
Yeah, that's the funny part. It's Belgian boys, but then there's a lot of women working behind the scene, and we do have mostly a female consumer. We have a lot of dads buying the brand, but most of the consumers that buy the brand are moms. So we try to speak to them. And I do love that our board of directors is women, mostly because, yeah, we get a lot of good shit done. I don't know.
Yeah. I would agree.
It's very organic to us at our workplace, and it's not built that way. It's just happened.
I know I'm laughing because my wife is the one that will make scratch-made breakfast every morning, and it's but is also an excellent cook. And it's like I would 100% buy these daily if I were the one responsible for morning routines. It is a product that appeals to everyone, but that's cool the organic way it's shaped.
Yeah, and listen, in our household, it's actually Greg that makes the lunch boxes. He loves that. He puts so much energy, and the fruit cut here, and the like. He loves that. First question when the kids come home, it's like, did you eat everything? What did you like? What did you not like?
How was the presentation?
But these mini pancakes, they go in the lunchbox, the plain one, the chocolate chip one, and the kids love it too.
Yeah, that's so good. You mentioned your background in fashion and then sort of that translating in the early days of, okay, taking that eye for aesthetic and design and bringing that into this completely different industry. This company has been around for, I think, nearly a decade now, and you were there from the very, very first minute. Clearly, the scale that it's out now quite different than what it was even several years ago. As a founder, which is inherently a sort of multidisciplinary field, Do you have any recommendations you came from a background of fashion, but now you're likely having to deal with personnel, operations, finance, supply chain, all those sorts of things. How have you found or recommendations that you kind of make that leap into now running a quite sizable company?
I used to be super conscious that my background wasn't CEO material or whatever. If you look at, maybe it's also us being a bit European and titles and hierarchy and this and that. It's not what we grew up knowing. I mean, America, there's way more just you start here, you go there, like very much corporate America, right? I think I was very conscious about, even, now I talk to you all, I have a very French accent. That was something that made me feel, I don't know, a bit of an imposter. But I started with work with a coach, work on myself, personal growth. This makes me, and this will bring different things to the table. And that is the special, like, there's something that one of our team members, Kayla, actually said, and we were doing a session about what makes us special as a company. And she said it beautiful, like our special sauce is our people. And everyone that is in our company comes from a different background. They bring their whole self to work. And I am just one of those. Greg is the true visionary. He was the one that had the guts to start a company. I don't think I would have had the guts to ever do that. But I think together, it's interesting. My background in fashion, Greg's background is actually in business. And today, Greg is a very creative person, and he's the one building the brand vision, working on brand strategy, working with our suppliers. So like he's the one owning product, so R&D, innovation, supplier relationship. And I am the one with my fashion background. I was always good with numbers because you do need that, I think, in the CEO role. But I took the one like the more forward, talking with the team, leading the team, investor relationships, accompanying our sales team to sales meetings, etc. So it's kind of like, if you look at our background on the resume, you would say I would be more of the creative and Greg would be more of the business. Well, we found that actually we're better up in the different roles, and that's more what we gravitate and what we're good at. And I do think that it brings not having that background. Yes, there's a lot of conscious of, I didn't learn about macroeconomics and things like that, right? But I'm very conscious that I know how to be the CEO of a company that yesterday is day old, today, hopefully, and tomorrow, I don't know, we'll figure it out. And that's a big mindset of we operate as we are building the plane while flying it, and we assume that everything will be okay. You need that optimism as a founder, because if you don't, there's going to be some really hard days.
I feel like that diversity of experience, though, can lend to like a flexibility in your way of looking at things. Absolutely. And seeing and drawing connections. And maybe I'm a little self-serving in saying this, because similarly, I came into this world about a decade ago after over 15 years as an educator. And you could say that the segue career-wise doesn't make sense. But what I have found over time is that there's a lot of parallels. It's different industries, there's different verbiage and terminology for things, but people problems, solving issues, finding ways to grow and answer things, that kind of goes across industry. It's just how you talk about it. And the moving from different industries kind of forces a flexibility of thought and forces a way of looking at things from different angles. And so, again, self-serving maybe, but I like when I hear kind of the scenic route on a career path.
Yes, absolutely. After 10 years in business, I want to say that we figured out a couple of things. Mm-hmm. We learned a lot, but we found a way that it really works well. And I think the biggest eye-opener for us was, as we started building our team, you can't be good at everything. And you need to make sure that you, for all your weaknesses, you bring in an excellent person in that. And I think that that's where a lot of people will say, I was looking at it that way, let's work on my weaknesses to improve them. I'm like, no, we're going to work on your strengths. We're going to improve, because those are my superpowers. And if I'm going to learn a bit of Excel, sure, I'll be a bit better, but I'm never going to be an Excel guru, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just get other people that are amazing at that. And when I need something, I'll be like, hey, walk me through this, right? And me working on my growth in the skills that I have. And that's how you build a dream team, by bringing in for your weaknesses. And I'm so, so grateful. And we're so lucky to have just talented people, of individuals that honestly, every day I work with them, I'm just like, woof, we're lucky. We're really, really lucky.
You mentioned getting a coach kind of early on, a personal coach. Is this someone you had a personal relationship with, or you sought out like, I need a professional coach, I'm going to find someone who does that for a career? I'm just curious, like how that kind of wove its way into you.
Yeah, funny story. I did not believe in coaching. This was a time where we were very in the beginning. I think Greg and I were very into the business and not looking outside and just like do. And everything that is not do is kind of a waste of time. That was our view on the world. And then COVID happened and stuff got tough. We were stuck in the home. We had a newborn. Our business model was a lot of airlines. So it was scary, I will say. We started DTC overnight. It's just gotten to a point where even just conversation didn't happen normally anymore. And it was actually my brother who said, hey, guys, I have this person you need to pitch to, and I'm going to keep your kids. It was Sunday.
Oh, yeah. You'll do anything if someone will watch you.
He's going to watch our kids like on a Sunday morning while we pitch. Something's weird. Anyway, we get there on that call and we're like, so this is Belgian Boys, da, 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 da. And she's like, so tell me about it. And I was like, what is this? And we got introduced to corporate mindfulness. So it's mindfulness within the corporate settings, learning to be present, multitasking, a bunch of just tools that we were able to bring into our toolkit. And coaching is something I do every week. It grounds me, it sharpens me, and addicted to it.
That's so cool. You did mention the sort of quick shift from like airline focused brand, that being an important sales channel for you, moving into DTC overnight. Obviously, that's a big place in your portfolio now. So I'm just wondering, e-com has been such a fast growing sector. I saw you're Instacart's fastest growing brand. Amazing. Can you talk a little bit about that emergence in the last 5-ish years, I guess?
Yes, or maybe like that sales strategy. I mean, we started and we were very product and we do cookies and we do this and we do that. And over the years, we really found what works, and that's our breakfast. That's our core. We actually discontinued a bunch of products that were just not the right time for our brand and our ability to focus on so many things. It was impacting our business at a level that we couldn't even understand, from operations to have the need of this warehouse, of that warehouse. So there were so many implications. And we found success really in retail by our merchandising concept. So when we came to the US, we showed waffles and pancakes, and buyers told us, oh, frozen breakfast. And we were like, what is frozen breakfast? Why do you do breakfast? Doesn't make sense. And to us as Europeans, breakfast is purchased refrigerated. If you think about it, you buy eggs, you buy milk, you buy yogurt, you buy orange juice, you buy strawberries. Like, breakfast food are stored in the fridge. So why is there another category in the freezer where you stock up on an item you eat every day? You go to your kitchen. What do you open first, your fridge or your freezer in the morning? Most people open their fridge. That's where the creamer is for the milk, for the coffee, So people told us frozen. We did frozen breakfast for the first 5 years of our business, and we were doing really well. But in our gut, we were like, no, we got to bring that European concept to the US. And that's been a slow and steady growth in the last 4 years, where we started in 65 stores, piloted it across multiple distribution centers, now is in 12,000 stores nationwide, and really has been building a new category from scratch. That is that refrigerated breakfast destination where you can buy pancakes that are already made. You have like overnight oats, you have wraps, like egg bites, potatoes, right? So really that breakfast occasion that we cater for. And it's been really exciting. And it also has led to how we think about our retail strategy. So it's from that merchandising first in the refrigerator, where we also found out after launching DTC that our product is very hard on DTC from a business perspective because it's perishable. Not only that, you had from dry ice to getting the orders in the right way to just that consumer experience. Then you get it, it's either melted, or for it to make sense for us, you had to get like a bundle of 10. Well, our boxes are big. Where do you put that? It's not convenience, it's the anti-convenience. And we found that a lot of our consumer wanted to buy it online, but we weren't like, hey, I'm going to buy $100 worth of this. We're just like an add-on to your basket where you buy your special cakes, you buy your eggs, and you buy Belgian Boys pancakes. And that's really where we found success, by partnering up with Instacart, Walmart, Target, all those retail platforms online. And we've seen a lot of growth there. And a shout out to your team, to the Acadia team, because we've partnered up, I think it was in 2023, I want to say. And wonderful for anyone listening. And no one asked me to say this, but it's a wonderful.
No samples are contingent.
I will say it's a wonderful team, and you guys are truly an extension of our team. And there is no way that anyone in our team could be doing this internally. And so partnering up with you has led us to become the number one fastest growing brand on Instacart of 2024. And it's been really exciting because we found out that there is even more growth there, and we're just scraping the surface.
Mm-hmm. We were all so excited when you guys got that for Instacart. So looking ahead, is there anything that you're comfortable sharing that's on the horizon? Anything exciting on the horizon for Belgian Boys?
There's always a lot of things going on, exciting behind the scenes. We're focusing on what we got right now, and our breakfast, innovating in our breakfast is coming. And I mean, if you were at Expo West, you saw our pink puffer totes. So we're trying to get more, which is...
I wasn't there, but I saw it through LinkedIn and they were adorable.
Well, we wanted to get more, but that's hard now. But we're working on that. But there's really exciting stuff coming, and the team is working on really, really cool projects. We're starting our busiest season, which is back to school. We're not really a seasonal brand, but back to school is really our strongest time, back to the routine. So we're gearing up for that, partnering up with Costco in a meaningful way, and all our other retailers. So I'm excited for the rest of 2025. It's been a great start to our year.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and chat through your journey and now what's to come. It has been fun being a part of the ride with you for the past couple of years as well. So thank you so much. And I can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you so much, and have a great weekend also.
Thank you.